slides that we are seeing in the class. Because if we get that, we can brush it up.
I'll tell Chinmay to put on the LMS, the material and the PDF, both.
Okay, ma'am.
So you can see as many times as you want.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you now recall what all sessions we have done? Start with Arun. First session. Can't hear you.
Ma'am, taxonomy, we discussed on domains, various domains.
I can't hear you, Arun. Arun, I'm asking from the beginning. Now it's 2 months we have started, almost 1.5, 2 months. So I'm asking you to lay out all the topics and note it down. So, you know, when you recall now, the brain becomes very fresh. That's the whole purpose.
We started with adult learning principles.
I think we started with ice breaking.
We started with teamwork.
Team building and team dynamics now.
Dynamics we started.
Yeah. And now what all we discussed in that?
In teamwork, I think we discussed about forming, storming, norming, and performing and reforming.
Domains of learning and then adult learning principles.
Then
Adult learning principles, domains and taxonomy. And then we went to principles of education. And they went to learning styles, hierarchy of needs. And started with educational projects. And we had 2 classes on education projects.
now you discuss in the group what all we have taken. The group 1 will discuss on the first 3 topics and write only 1, 2 lines on what is important you learn. Like somebody said, storming, norming, performing. There is something you're missing.
Reforming. Sure.
It's performing.
Reforming.
Okay, you discuss about. And the next 3 topics or 4 topics, whatever, the group 2 will do. Put it in the WhatsApp. Let the WhatsApp be. No good morning and good evening. Only this has to come in next 2 days. It's a request. Okay. I think 1 or 2 people are not yet joined. They must be on the way. I want to ask you, how did you learn? You were a class of 100. Were you not a class of 100 or 60? In my college, it was 60, still 60. How did you learn? Simple. The teacher came to the class. She said, please. No.
Good evening, ma'am.
Padiyar, can you share or anyone? Mirna?
Yeah. During our days, we used to go and sit in the lectures, take some notes.
So what were the learning
inputs from our seniors? Most of them.
Very good, very good. You learn from the seniors. You learn from the lecture, as Padiyar said. You also took down some notes. How much of it you retained? How much of you retained? And how much you have to again go back to the... Very few of us in dentistry have the habit of referring back to the textbooks or, so-called reference books. We depend on the notes heavily and we depend on seniors' notes. Don't you think these things need to be little, culture needs to be changed? Culture slowly, you can't bring about a change drastically. Let me share something with you, but I don't think two people are not joined. Who are they? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only Mirna, I think. Mirna generally, I think, reaches late home. Can you call her up, Meenakshi? Can you call her up and ask her whether she's joining? Otherwise,
ma'am, I
I'll
should
start the PPT also. Gaurang is joining today.
Mirna ma'am, she's joined.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Yeah. So,
Evening, ma'am.
good evening, good evening. Waiting for you, Mirna.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got little late, ma'am.
No, sorry. Generally, we must not waste time of starting at 6:15, 6:20 like the conferences. We should be ready with the mind has to be on the subject.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you're already prepared your mind ground to absorb more. Okay. I asked a question as to how did you learn during your time or whatever? How do your students learn? How do your students learn?
Usually notes complete.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question, please?
How did you learn when you were a student?
Uh-huh.
And
Most of
how
the
did
time
your
we learn by
students
notes
learn?
of ourselves. Our professors used to give notes, so we used to study that.
But
And
was it
some-
possible to give notes to you in final year? My question is that.
Yes, ma'am. Our sir used to give in the final year process the full note.
Okay, how did as a learner you interact? Can you see my slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you interact and how are you allowing your students to interact? Now the question is, everybody is with me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, madam.
So I'm asking you, I have a class of 100. Most of you have 100, no, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Some of you may be having
Yes.
40 and 60. There is very less number of students. Colleges
Usually
having
70 to 80 students admission.
Yeah, okay. Admission utna hota hai. Okay,
Fine.
we'll take it as an average 70, 75 students.
Mhm.
Now you have to have the attention of 75 students. So how do you make each one of them? They don't know when they will have to interact, they have to contribute. I will not say you'll ask question, old method.
Mhm.
You can ask questions, but let's call it a sophisticated way of interaction.
Mhm.
Okay. Thoda sa word play is very important. When I send a negative note, no, in education, we do not use any negative words. From today or last time also, Ashwini corrected a person. She said, no negative, use positive.
Ma'am, I actually ask questions by randomly asking any student I randomly pick up and
Did
then
you
ask
see
some
that
questions.
only few students answer, others don't answer?
Yes, ma'am. Then again, I ask
What
them
can you
if
do for
anybody
that?
wants to rectify what that student has told, or anybody wants to add anything new to it.
No, then also few students are probably worried that they may be insulted or they don't know or something. But if I
And
say,
I have
Mirna,
seen, ma'am,
Mirna, can you
most of these students leave the first few benches, then that remains empty. I think.
That also we will change. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I will tell you what to do for that. But many a times, if I say, Jyoti, Arun, can you answer in front of 100 people, 75 people? I'm saying, Arun, can you answer? And I say, Arun, you didn't study that. Sit down. Now, Padiyar, you answer. And if Padiyar answers, I say, good. And if Padiyar doesn't answer, I say, please study and come. What is this? You all are not studied. Okay. So it's very, very important to see how they can interact comfortably. Safe academic environment. I talked to you about adults. मैंने आपसे बोला. So what are the methods you have used while learning as a student? Was there any game that time? Or maybe just by calling names? That's what I'm asking you. So today when we see large groups, we have lectures only. Yeah, just excuse me. Jitu, I am taking a class. You okay? Sure. Okay. चलेगा. So small groups still take seminars, tutorials, group discussions, and also like you have been working in groups purposely because I wanted to show you how powerful group learning and peer learning is. How powerful it is. Meenakshi will call her group, whichever group she is. Maybe somebody else will call. Siddharth will call, and Rohit will call. And I hope you are calling and working on it. Then there is skill learning. There is online distance learning, and we'll talk about flipped classrooms later. Also, we'll talk a lot of things like blended learning, etc. Self-directed learning. Self-directed learning is na ghar pe jaake padho. That's self-directed learning. We'll take a small session as an example. Whatever we do know, we make you do so that you can apply it in the college immediately. I want you to do that. The best method of teaching learning is feedback, timely feedback. If I tell today to you that this is the assignment you have submitted and this is not in proper, it's a very general term. But if I say that you have not written this points correctly, but or you need to write these points and highlight on that, please refer to these articles. Then I'm giving you constructive feedback. Or I can say, make it precise and make the language more lucid or simple. When it is clinical teaching, even observation, if you have a checklist, the student, not only in the exam, in the formative or in the clinics, if I have something, I'm demonstrating and I can break the demonstrations into parts. That also we will come to when we are taking skill teaching and skill learning. Okay? But timely feedback is extremely important. So this is a slight more introduction to you regarding teaching learning. But let me tell you one thing. Lectures are the oldest teaching method. And when we were students, whatever the teacher had probably a book also and she read from that. Some of them prepared it, but they had, that overhead projector. Any of you have seen overhead projector?
Yes.
So overhead projector, not very colorful, but they brought the textbooks, they showed us
Madam?
and other things.
Yeah. Yes.
Gaurang, you want to take it up?
Yeah, I've just joined. Thank you all for waiting. Sorry I got late. Yeah, so shall I, ma'am, shall I take over?
Yeah, you can take over.
Yeah, okay. So rather than having them the slides, let us kind of ask them. They already seen what are the different teaching learning methods.
We discussed that. But we discussed only that what as a student they learned and what as a teacher they are applying. But from here we start with a large group. So I thought from here we can ask again the same question. So lectures, when you take lectures, what do you do?
Only the teacher speaks and students are passive listener only.
Okay, but sometimes you ask them questions, I'm sure. And sometimes you tell them to prepare, and two students are preparing the seminar and they are only reading or they are only presenting. A lot of passivity comes.
Yes.
So it is teacher centered. And sometimes the students are thinking how they will spend the evening, or what is the fight that went on in the house or with the friends. And girls become very emotional many times, so they're not able to focus. Now let's see how can we make it student centered. How the students will learn, how they will drive. Small group teaching has its own. We are going to different teaching methods first. There are students in a group of 10, supposing I'm able to ask them each one of them, and they feel safe in the smaller group. They can discuss in the smaller group. It allows the development and understanding in the small group. The student can ask for a clarification. Okay. So when they are presenting their work, they're working in a team, as I said. So they prepare, they prepare and come. So it's a part of self-directed. It's not self-directed learning alone. It's more of a group learning. Now the limitation for this is, how many times can you have such small groups? How many times can you have small group? You can have once a week. Maybe the faculty members are 5 or 6 or 7. Then you can give the work in a group of 10, 12 or 15, because HOD and maybe busy. So the senior lecturers, the junior lecturers, and all those people can take. So, okay. So small group, there is a feasibility, but there is a limitation. In clinical, it's not bedside, but it's more of chair side for us. It is the heart of training in our own settings, because we are all clinicians. So chair side learning with a small group, observing you, how you address the patient, how you talk to them, how you manipulate the material, that is very important. And then how you place the tray, or when you are doing the arrangement and trial, what are the things that you check. So this becomes a very close group learning. So new experiences, and the student generally in the clinics pays attention. So it enables opportunistic learning. That teaching moment, what is there, is a highlight of that moment. He observes and he picks up. That's why it's very important that when we are on the clinical setting, we should be all on the same. 5 teachers doing, and then one demonstration is given in a different way. Other demonstration is different. They get because they discuss later, and they say, "Hamare group mein ye nahi bataya. The border molding was not shown like this. So we will not do this way." And in the exam, there is more confusion. Of course, to pay attention to all the 12 students and the HOD to have all the 5 groups, they have to have a meeting first as to how you may have learned from Mumbai or from Maharashtra or from Delhi. Today you are working in a college in, say, Madhya Pradesh. You're supposed to follow what the HOD and the other people decide with your consent. They take your meeting, so you can contribute in that. Sometimes it becomes unplanned. That is not good. But unplanned is good when suddenly one particular patient has a spicule, a tori, a mandibular tori, then that opportunistic learning comes. So it depends upon how we are using a situation. And teaching environment will become friendly if you make it friendly. Otherwise, let me tell you, people are all scared of the teachers today. And many people, in the initial years, when you don't know how to talk to the students, they go into depression. Because they said, I was insulted in the class. They have never gone physical fighting से उन्होंने कबड्डी भी नहीं खेला है, लंगड़ी भी नहीं खेला है, और लगोरी भी नहीं खेला है. They have fought, they have played on the videos. Understand the mindset of today's students. We have gone and छुपा छुपी खेलने के लिए मारा मारी किया है. But we never felt that it's an insult. So those people, and many of them are single children, they have never been talked to loudly. जोर से भी पेरेंट्स बात नहीं किए. So understand the student's mind, please. Online and distance learning became very popular during the COVID time. It has a much wider outreach. It can be used or misused. Student can switch off the video and you know what they have done, Dhamal. But designing is very challenging. Like this, how we have designed breakout rooms. Can anyone escape this session without paying attention? Little bit you can, 20% चलता है. बट आप पूरे के पूरा बंद करके आपके प्रैक्टिस में लगोगे तो हमको पता चलेगा आप. So challenges in designing, technology may be a challenge. Significant dropout rate, because not exactly dropout rate, but it's because they keep the videos off, or maybe there are certain other advantages are many. You can send them the PPT or PDF earlier. You can tell them to read, send them an email regarding that. And if the teachers are available less, we can have a recording. So now I think Gaurang has joined. Gaurang, you start from TL method so we don't waste time. It's already 6:15.
Yes.
Gaurang? Yeah.
So, ma'am, can you stop sharing?
Okay, I'll stop sharing. I stopped, huh?
Yeah. Can you see my screen? Is my screen visible?
Sir, no.
No, sir.
No,
Not
no.
visible.
So let's just start. Now is it visible?
No, sir.
No, sir. Now it's
Yeah, now it's visible.
Yeah. So I'm just playing a small video clip.
पहली सर्विस शिक्षक की ज्वाइन की. पहले दिन स्कूल पहुंचा. पहला ही दिन था, पहली कक्षा पढ़ाना था. सामने बच्चे बैठे थे, हिंदी पढ़ाना था. 2 शब्द ब्लैक बोर्ड पर लिखे, ऊपर लिखा सत्य, नीचे लिखा भ्रम. मैंने कहा कोई बच्चा खड़े हो और सत्य भ्रम में अंतर बताओ. ये 90 चैनल देखने वाली पीढ़ी ने मुझे पहले दिन निपटाया. एक बच्चा खड़ा हुआ, बोला सर आप पढ़ा रहे हैं ये बिल्कुल सत्य है, हम पढ़ रहे हैं ये आपका भ्रम है.
You all get that? Does that happen?
Always.
Most of the time, sir.
Okay. So what can we do as educators to make sure that this problem is taken care of? Any strategies?
interactive teaching.
I think we lost. Gaurang, you're lost and found, lost and found. So what are the strategies?
I'm trying to.
What are the strategies?
What do you do? What can you all share? How do you make your classes effective?
So like a interactive mode of teaching, like before going into the topic, we give a brief introduction about the topic. Then we start with our PPT and also.
Okay.
Like a brief introduction about what we are going to speak about in today's class. And randomly we ask students questions, making it very clear to them that this is not a viva. You will not get afraid. You can sit down and answer, calm down them, and we go ahead with the class.
And also like adding more audio visual aids and a mini CX just know
Okay.
how you shown, sir. Means little comedy something can be added.
Any other
Okay,
method?
fine.
No, they will say, Gaurang. Any other
Yes,
method?
yes, yeah. We are giving them time. Yes.
Usually, I have seen whenever I have
During-
correlated the theory part with the clinical patients, how they will use it in the clinic, I have found them to be more focused
Can you
during the
say
lesson.
any games can be played? Any games? Any games?
Games, ma'am, I have done only
Ask
once.
a controversial
Divided
question.
into 2 groups and done competition among them. After one chapter, I have taught them and asked cross question. That one group will ask the question to the other group.
Yeah,
And
very
I'll
good,
be the
very good,
observer
very
to
good.
listen
This
to
is
them.
one of the methods, but we'll come to
Once
the
I
method.
finish that chapter, suppose one topic is over, after that I do it before proceeding to the
Yeah.
next topic.
And somebody said slowly controversial question. What is that?
Ma'am, controversial question is where you ask one question and you make the student to one for the particular topic and one group is against the topic. And then I explain them what
It's sort of a
exactly is the
debate,
right way.
debate.
Then everyone will be agreed.
It's sort
Madam,
of a debate.
I have
And,
used
huh,
Couch stations, madam. Couch app. So you can create stations there and you can ask
yeah.
questions.
Yeah, but
Some
Kahoot
pictures
is
you
a
can-
highly paid man. You can only ask 2 questions in that.
No, madam. Up to 20 questions you can ask, madam.
Acha, abhi 20 ho gaya?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Up to 20 you
When
can
I
ask.
was last year tried to use, I got only 3.
Up to 20 you can use, madam. But they limited the participants now. Earlier it was open to means up to 100. Also at a time, they can, but
yeah.
they
Can you
limited
please
only to
repeat
20.
what was that thing? Ma'am, what was that thing?
Is the we will take this whole Kahoot and everything when we are doing the interactive teaching learning online, and apps also interactive teaching learning. You can use this in the on the mobile also on the this thing, but you require internet for that. Kahoot is one of the apps that you download, and then Kahoot, Kahoot, Kahoot. You can use any word, Kahoot, whatever. Okay. So, but you need to learn that. Like Jamboard can be used from Google. हाँ तो वो सब होता है. So Slido can be used. There's so many apps, hundreds of apps. I think one of us used Answer Garden. We gave you a code. I think one of the Chinmay gave you a code. You scanned and you answered. We will give you all the methods. There are many methods, but I'm asking
we
you
will have
today.
Using technology for making classrooms interactive. We can have a separate session totally on
We
that.
are
Where
having, Gaurang. We have planned that.
yes, yeah. So a lot of online tools are available which can be used to make your learnings, your classroom teaching more
But
effective.
when we were anatomy class, no, Gaurang, our anatomy teachers sometimes used puzzle also.
Great, yes.
Yeah. So puzzle. Your teachers used puzzle sometimes. The Times of India, you answer those. What do you call that?
Word.
Huh?
Word.
Yes.
Crossword.
Yeah. Yes, crossword. So some of them were using puzzles, some of them are using crosswords. I'm just giving you a food for thought. This is a breakout session, but since Gaurang has joined now, we'll give you breakout a little later. Okay, Gaurang, go ahead. Okay, so now explore dynamics of lecture format. See the dynamics, if I come and read maybe from a book, that I'm having a book and I start reading, Fuchsia Group of Companies, Written Private Limited, distributors of, in a monotonous voice, who will listen only sleeping? That is one thing. But if I have a question put, a story told, I start my session with a story. It is very powerful. Storytelling and narratives are very powerful. I want to today take a session on maybe, anything like denture, ulcers, etc., all those things. So I'll say about a patient who complained and what happened and all those things. Okay. And how did you remember the retention factors? Physical, physiological, anatomical, biological, and
Press.
so it is first letter of every. What is it called? Think about it, and you all have mobiles, man.
Mnemonics, madam.
Ah, very good, very good. कौन बोला?
I'm Siddharth.
हाँ, गौरंग ने तो नहीं बोला ना, वही देखा. Okay. What is lecture acronym? Gaurang is asking you. I can share the same presentation if Gaurang is going away. Gaurang? Okay. I think I better share and he speaks. Okay, is it okay? Okay. It stands for what? Can you see?
Yeah.
आप देख सकते हो?
Yes, madam.
क्या लिखा है मैंने? Lengthy, endless, continuous torture with unending repetition of explanation. Gaurang, I am sharing the presentation, same presentation.
Yes.
You only speak. Because whenever you go, I can speak. I already shared.
Okay.
Can you see my slide, Gaurang?
Yeah. Okay. So, anybody wants to go ahead with this? Any ideas? What is the lecture short full form of a lecture?
They already said.
Can you please show that slide, what you have written again?
Madam, there is no screen, madam.
Okay, I will do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. Gaurang, you stop sharing so I can share. Stop sharing, Gaurang.
Stop.
Can it be seen?
Visible, madam.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to the next slide, Gaurang.
Yes. This is one more definition which we could find somewhere. Lectures are a mode of transforming information from the notes of the lecturer to the notes of the student without passing through the heads of either of them. So what happens as a result of this? Next slide. Students are, this is what happens in the class. Finally, students are not interested and it's difficult to catch their attention. So talking about attention, attention and recall is best at the beginning and sometimes towards the end of the class. So if we draw a graph of attention span versus the time, can you see the green line? So the green line, as time progresses, initially first 5-10 minutes, the green line shows the attention. Attention is initially high, but as the class progresses, the attention gradually falls down, and by the end of around 45 minutes, practically it's zero. So what do we exactly do? Next slide. So what can we do? What all can we do in our class to make sure that once the attention rises, it is sustained? So can you see the blue line? The blue line is something optimal which we want. That once the attention increases, it is sustained. The green line is what actually happens. initiation is high, but it gradually starts falling. Now look at the red line. So as soon as we see previous slide. Next slide. Yeah. So can you see these vertical arrows on the red slide? That is where we actually need to bring in some kind of jhatka for the students. So what all can we do? How can we make your lectures more effective? You did share a few strategies, but finally what do we need to do is we need to make the lectures more student centric. So we need to maximize the students learning by following the 4 principles of lecture organization, which are plan, prepare, practice and present. So what all do we need to plan for? Any ideas? If we have to take a class 1 week down the line, what all do we need to plan for?
Friends.
Content of the lecture.
What are the
Okay.
points we are going to touch upon?
Okay. What else? Anything else we need to plan?
And we also need to plan
content.
that how to make it easier for them. Interesting for
How
them.
to make it more easier in a way that the students understand? Yes. Then prepare. What do we need to prepare?
Presentation.
We
Prepare
need to
audio
prepare it in a form of audiovisual form or putting down more animation, which in the difficult concept, or
Okay.
actually show something related to that difficult concept which student cannot visualize.
Anything else required for preparing?
Material collection.
Do we all practice? Does anyone practice their presentation in any format before teaching the students?
Yes,
No.
once.
Not
How
for the
can you
students, but if you do in present in any conference, prior to that we prepare. I think we practice.
Gaurang, can I chip in?
Any? Yes, ma'am, please.
In the planning stage, it is not only planning your topic and content, it is planning the teaching learning strategy. How will you present this? Just not with a PowerPoint today, but with only talking interaction. PowerPoint is called Powerless Person's Tool, PPT. If it is just used just like that, students just see the PowerPoint, they don't even look at you. But if I'm using different methods and strategies, interactions, that needs to be planned. Okay. Gaurang?
Yes. So can you move ahead? Next slide. Just yeah. So planning, we need to keep in mind the context, the objectives, the time. Next, preparing the resources, activities, organizations, audiovisual aids. Micro teaching can be done for practicing. If for those of you who are having that system in your college. And finally,
Yeah, do you
to
know
make your
what is
lectures.
micro teaching? Do you all know what is micro teaching? Micro teaching is a method by which you prepare your whatever your lecture or maybe your session, and then you present it to your colleagues. They will give you a feedback, and accordingly you sometimes I have talked about partial denture, removable partial denture, direct connector, indirect connector. Students have not understood, but if I think from their point of view and present it to even the postgrad, they will say, madam, this way if you explain we will understand, this way if you show we will understand. So micro teaching is taking a feedback from your own peer group. Micro teaching also we'll discuss a little bit later.
And on top of all that, to make the lectures more interesting, provide a good introduction, vary the content. You can use humors, anecdotes wherever possible, vary the audio visuals. And we have to remember that the students will remember by doing. So we need to involve the students. Next.
Yeah. One
Next.
minute. What is buzz group? Think, pair and share, brainstorming. All these things Dr. Gaurang is going to discuss.
Yeah, so let's ask them what are buzz groups? try to recollect how we have all been trying to engage you in your groups over here.
Yeah, make small groups and give them small task.
Yes, and slowly, the noise starts increasing in the class, so therefore the buzz increases and therefore they are called as a buzz group. So we can always do this in our large class, break the class into smaller sections in maybe 2 or 4 benches, give them some tasks, some assignments, think, pair and share, where they can think individually and then discuss with their partner and then share with the larger group. Quiet brainstorming, asking questions, and many other methods which you all already enlisted out. Okay, next.
I would like to highlight on think, pair, and share by giving you an example. Like if I'm asking you a question on the instructions that is given to the patients while you're delivering a prosthesis, and especially the difficult patients. So I'll say, okay, discuss with your neighbor, the next person, think for a second or a few seconds, discuss with your neighbor, both of you come to one of you present it. If you come to a consensus, I will say that yes, we need to give a written instruction, somebody will say something, so you get inputs like that. So this think, pair and share is a very powerful tool. I want you to use it immediately before you come for the next class.
So presentation with interactions, what are interactive lectures? It is a way to capitalize on the strengths of a small group learning into a large group format. Next slide. So now we have one activity for you. If this would have been a real class, I would have actually distributed handouts of the word quiz, which is there on the next slide, and then maybe given all the students 1 or 2 minutes to fill out the word quiz. So here is the activity for you. You have 1 minute. We'll give them 1 minute to identify the principles of lecture organization. Please identify the four principles of lecture organization in this word quiz.
फोटो लेके करो.
Spot.
Okay. Last 20 seconds. Okay. Ma'am, can we have the next slide? The next slide has the responses for this.
Yeah.
How many could get all four? 3, 2,
Yes.
1. How many could not get any?
So this way your brain starts working
Got one, sir.
both sides, right and left brain. You would have seen plan from here, but plan is here. And cross. Then again something.
Okay, so what exactly happened now while doing this word quiz? This was something which we had already just covered in class. All this information was there somewhere in your short-term memory. But now this was an opportunity where as soon as this question was given to you, you all were forced to go back into your short-term memory, think and recollect and remember what are the four principles and then try to hunt it down. So now chances are higher that even after 1 week, if somebody asks you this, that what are the four principles, do you think you'll be able to remember them more easily?
Yes.
Yes.
So
you can create such a small word. So you can create, in your regular classes, whenever you're teaching some concepts which you want your students to remember, you can just create a small word quiz like this, and give it out to them. So it's not about just using the activity, but using the interactivity in a way which will enhance the learning. Okay, next slide. Okay, now again, this is something which we would do in a large class. I want you to imagine this situation. This same may be the same word quiz paper which is there with the students. What we will do is we will ask the students to take any piece of paper, any blank paper, and write down anything which they have not understood since the beginning of the session or the class. Okay, and then we will ask the students to kind of fold the paper twice in such a way that whatever is written, it goes inside and nobody is able to see what is written in their paper.
No
And
names. No names.
and yes, it should be anonymous, no names should be written. This needs to be informed to them, and then we will kind of circulate or play a game of passing the parcel. So you can just randomly in the class ask them to just pass on the chits which are there to each other, either in the rows or in the columns which they are sitting. Give them 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds to kind of do this game as an activity of passing the parcel, and then ask them to stop. And then we will ask any of the students to all of them to open out what is open the chit which is there and read out the doubt which is written. So do you think the students will easily read out the questions which are there?
Yes.
Why? Will they be hesitant in asking or reading out that query? No.
Because
Why not?
it is the query of somebody else. So
It
they
is
won't.
somebody else's
Their
query,
names are
not their
not
own.
there. Their names are not there. So safety,
Yes.
safety. And again,
Okay, so this
out of 100, you can just pick up randomly 4 or 5. You can take it back, make an exercise of going through again with your postgraduate. It's like, teaching assistantship. They also learn these are the things we have to make. See, anything you give it to your postgraduate, don't make it as a donkey work that he's doing it for your sake. He's doing it for his own growth. Remember that. It's the way you put it. Or maybe a junior lecturer, or maybe the whole department people take part. In the class, you can answer only 4 or 5.
so yes, it's not possible to answer everybody's questions, but then whatever doubt is written, what I would do is I would ask the class only, throw it back to the students. Okay, who would like to address this query? No. So it would be a reinforcement for the students who already remembers. At the same time, it would give me a feedback as a teacher about how much the students have understood and what is the generalized level of difficulty in the class. And of course, as madam said, I can also collect all these chits and tell them that the responses to these queries will be displayed on the notice board or maybe discussed in the next
It can
class.
be just that we can discuss next time. In the foreign countries,
Yeah.
the teaching assistantship is given and this is answered on the emails. So, still we are not come to using all these social medias and emails and all so widely, and because we don't have a strong LMS. Okay, I'll go to
The
the
idea is that this was an opportunity to allow those students to come up with their queries and doubts which otherwise they would never be bold enough to ask in class. Okay, so this is a technique which is called as confusion. Why confusion? Because definitely the confusion would be created while they are passing the chits and throwing them around and catching them, and at the same time nobody knows whose doubt or query it is. So therefore this is one more interactive technique which you can all use in your classes, which is called as confusion. Next.
So there are 200, 300 methods, but these are the 2-3 very powerful, and you can innovate in your own class.
Yeah, you can just go online on Google and search or type for interactive teaching learning methods. You'll get hundreds of them, and you can customize and adapt them to your own specific needs.
So
and
the teacher is an innovator.
Next slide, ma'am, please. Okay. Now again, a task for all of you individually on whatever you are having with you. Just enlist, maybe on a piece of paper, enlist as many interactive methods as you can remember from today's session. Create the list.
दीपक, दादाला एक करून टाक ना ते. येतातच आहे ते, काय म्हणतात त्याला, बुट्टा.
Half a minute for this.
Okay, sorry. Gaurang, I can't hear you.
Okay, anyone? Yeah. So I was on mute. I was muted. Sorry. Anyone with more than 10 methods? More than 7 methods? Yes, ma'am. Please, can you go? Can you read them out, Dr. Minakshi?
Yes, sir. So peer group learning, self-learning, feedback learning, opportunistic learning, learning through technology and tools, bus group learning, breakout learning, using word quiz, and confusion technique.
Great, wonderful. Anyone wants to add to this list? Anything different which you have written down?
Think,
So
pair,
micro
pair.
teaching is one method,
Okay.
and that passing the parcel and confusion method is both are same, sir, or they're two different
They're
methods?
Yeah,
different.
that
They're
is the
different.
same.
Passing the parcel and confusion is same, but think, pair, and share are different.
Think,
So
pair, and
that
share.
video, sir, which you played, that short video.
Showing
Yeah.
videos, yes.
Yes, that is mini CX method, I guess. So that is also
That is just calling your attention of the student. That's not mini CS. Mini clinical
Okay.
examination is different. This
Okay,
is just showing them to draw attention. If I show, did you remember in the adult learning, I showed you some video?
Yes, ma'am.
It caught your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And today, I asked you to recall, to put it in your long-term memory.
Correct. So it is easy to remember if some
Right.
short words. Yes.
Right. So all these methods you can use.
Yes.
So next time the homework is, you have to at least both the groups has to give us 4 or 5 new methods what you think can be used in dental colleges in newer situations.
Okay.
And you must use the confusion technique and the think, parent, share, and come back with the feedback. How did you, the students like it? How did you, the responses came? Is the did it enhance learning? 3 questions.
Correct.
Yes, so this is one more method to add to your list, which is essence. So towards the end of the class, you can just ask the students to themselves mentally summarize and write down what all was covered in the class. So this is one more technique which you can add to the list, called as essence. So some hints finally for effective interactivity. There are hundreds of methods, hundreds of things which you can do, but what is important is you need to plan the interactivity properly, explain the method correctly to the participants, stick to the allotted time, do not hesitate to take help of your colleagues. Next slide. Finally, remember that what you can cover depends on the time available. Less is more, so don't try to cover everything on your slides and presentations. Keep the content minimal, but consider what visual images will help you to convey your message. Next. And of course, use proper delivery techniques, whatever interactivity you are doing. Next. We can add graphics and color to support the message, but again, we need to be cautious because overdoing it might also take away the attention of the students from what you're speaking onto the presentation and slides. Next. Finally, last but not the least, revise your slides, try to shorten them, ask for feedback before the actual show time, that is the main class, and we can put minor details into handouts which can be shared with the students. Next. Yes, so that ends the formal presentation, and we can have now an interaction about what all do you do, or any experiences, any strategies you would like to share from your side which you are using to engage large classrooms.
Sir, we can engage the different groups. Like we have different sessions. One is in one department, the other one is other department. We can interact with them, what they have learned between their groups. So there will be a group discussion among these different set of groups which are there.
Okay. Yes. What else?
We can also give them a worksheet, a different worksheet. They will represent what they could able to do in that worksheet. So you can choose among the worksheet which can be explained. So that creates some kind of a competitiveness and also a learning interest in future. Also, we can add the role play of certain things which the students of lower classes can be told to represent and can play it, which can be like presenting something for a large group, how to do a brushing technique or something like that. A role play can also help, so that could also make them interest to learn certain techniques.
Google Forms can be administered, sir. Google Forms,
Pre and post.
pre and post. So Google Forms can also be a pre-test and post tests can be conducted before the class and after the class. You give the same questionnaire to assess what is the amount of knowledge gained in the class during the session. The other is participatory method can also be included, where the students will participate. They themselves will get
Giving incentives, positive feedback.
Anyone else would like to share?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Giving out incentives, positive feedback.
Incentives in what way?
rewards, sir, rewards. Maybe
Rewards
like
in what format?
some rewards, some certificates
Rewards.
of appreciation. So that
Like
their participation
like in
increases.
the school, they used to give stars.
Yes. Stars or chocolates, something.
So we can also do a role reversal, like the students are being, one of the students being picked up to give a class, the teacher comes and sits back and how he presents. So it can be you can choose one of the students, so everyone is an active, so there'll be an active listeners there and they are equipped to understand their classes. So that can be done one by one or accidentally.
Sir, even we can add a concept map after each classes, so that after teaching that we have to make all that student to prepare a concept map of what they understand.
Okay, so how many of us are aware of this idea of concept maps? Is everyone aware?
Yes, sir.
Or sir, can you just briefly share about what exactly is this concept of concept maps?
Maps sir, is nothing but just like that. One chapter is over. We have to give them like a A3 size of paper, and we have to ask them to write down what they understand, like main points. For example, we taught them about tooth preparation, so they have to write down about the principles of tooth preparation, what they understand in one concept map, in one map only, in one chart only, so that it will be easy for them to prepare for the exams also. And a student can use different types of sketch pen and all, so that they will be like more interesting to doing all that work.
Okay. Anyone else using concept maps or mind maps?
We use during the starting of the lecture to show them that what are the main headings and subheadings on which we are going to cover the topic. And suppose a class continue to the next class, I used to show them that where we were and from where, which section we are starting now.
Sir, to add on to maps
So
points, maybe we
skeletal
can
form.
to just add on to Meghna ma'am's points. Maybe we can actually involve them as learning objectives and the learning outcomes. So these are the things which we have started with our lecture, and these are the outcomes which we are going to have at the end of the lecture session. Probably we can ask the outcomes from the student per point of view only, whether they have learned or not.
Yes, thank you everyone for sharing that. Nagda ma'am, would you want to add anything?
I'm trying to send them 1 or 2 articles, the ABC 16 methods, that's ABC of, lecture and learning and all those
We can
things.
put it on the group later on.
I'll put it on the group. My computer somehow is not sending that and it's hung up only on that page. So I came back to the meeting only. I got 2, 3 very good articles. I'll try and share that with you. I want you to read that and interact in the group also. The homework is you have to use the 2 methods, interactive methods in your session, and you give me your experience. Initially, I don't want you to go back to the student and suddenly I had done some eureka. They will think that you are, इतना दिन क्यों नहीं किया ऐसा उनको, they nobody appreciates anybody. So you have to create a slow change. And then what I want you to do is read these articles and write that what is large group teaching, how the large group teaching can be planned, presented, and designed. What is the strategy? So it's sort of an assignment. So Gaurang, will you put that in the WhatsApp for them? Because some of them then LMS में डालेंगे, लेकिन WhatsApp में भी एक assignment देना उनको large group के बारे में.
Yeah, we'll discuss and put it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. 1 minute, ma'am. Ma'am, we are unable to access the LMS, ma'am, because the ips.education is we are unable to log into that website, ma'am.
Okay, I will just look into that and get back to you. Anything like this now, please directly message me.
Okay.
Don't wait for it.
Okay.
So we will.
Can you just put up any error message which is coming on a screenshot on the WhatsApp group? That we can try to tackle it also. Dr. Chinmay can see it and he'll help you out immediately.
Okay. So it says it doesn't exist.
It is accessible, madam, but it is showing old database, madam.
Okay. So please, can you write that on the group? Chinmay will say and see and correct it.
Okay.
Okay. So now going, if this is done, anybody else, any questions in this?
Madam, with your permission, if the question is not vague, I have a small doubt. Like whatever techniques we discussed till now, my point of view is like these all techniques is applicable to a student who is genuinely interested in the theory class. Of late, what we are observing is students are not that much involved in theory class. So how do we present all these techniques for a student who is totally not interested for a theory class?
So now can I answer that?
Yeah, madam.
That's a very challenging thing everybody faces. But let me tell you one thing. No student comes except barring 1 or 2 that he doesn't want to learn. Somebody is not mute. Who is not mute? Mute karo. So there are articles I have read in BDJ 20 years back. I learned because I was interested. Nowadays, my students are not interested. They just come to get the degree. This feeling, please remove from your mind. A mother cannot say that I will, during my time, we loved our parents. Now my children no more love me. Even if it is true, you have to do something that they like you and love you. We all do that. So what interests the student of today is just not this lecture. They feel that मैं बाद में पढ़ लूंगा. Senior का notes है और exam में तो pass हो ही जाते हैं. These are the things which is not in my hand. I told you circle of influence in the first lecture. What is my circle of influence? What is beyond my circle? In my circle of influence, you are all 10 people varied from various colleges. I can just say that, okay, today, Jyoti, can you tell me a little background about your college? I heard a lot about your college and your teaching. Maybe it is not true, but I am trying to encourage. Otherwise, encouraging cannot be too much falsifying and saying the student is great. So if you use this method of games, every student is interested. And believe me, ask them to you. There is Wi-Fi in your class? No. Okay.
No, madam.
Okay. So tell them to keep the mobiles on the silent mode.
Okay.
And if you can give them some topic and you know where that particular Google search will lead them to. There are a lot of NCBI articles which are in complete dentures, which are in a prime area. If you tell them to Google something, or maybe some meaning, or maybe some recent, yesterday it came that that Tom Hanks, AI created him, his image, his voice, and there was some dental advertisement. Of all the things, dental advertisement. I don't know why those people did. So he took them to the court and he says, I'm not bothered about dental or not. I am bothered about the creator of the AI, that they can't use my voice. So that's not the question. Question is, I'm telling them to connect. I told them a story.
Okay.
What interests the student of today is today's little bit technology, which is misused by them. Misused by me. My children tell me, see your hours, number of hours, kitna video dekha. And there is a rule in the family that no one can forward anything. If you want to write something you're read, you can write it and type it out. Message will be short and I'm using my brain. So if this confusion technique is used, no, I never liked maths till until a time when a good teacher came and he explained to me. Of course, the foundation was such that the many of us colleges don't give a very good foundation. Students want to know why. Children ask you, tell me why I should do it. Give me one reason, then I will do it. So if they're also our children, like, so we can always give them why they should be able to study, update, and keep on updating. A teacher is to each. That is the definition of a teacher. Teacher to each. Teacher is a role model who can also make mistakes. All the time my mood cannot be same. Next time if I tell you something, I'll tell you from before. I may throw some temper tantrums. Please forgive me. I don't mean anything personally to you. If some person keeps on not submitting the project, and if I call up and say that you have not submitted, I have not liked it, the person is a dean now. So one of you take it. Who is the dean here? Padiyar. Okay. So he doesn't take it very nicely. He calls up Gaurang or Chinmay and tells him that Madam ne meko aisa bola, I felt very bad. You know what tensions I'm undergoing, how trouble my staff members are troubling me. So that moment when I said, usko acha nahi laga. So there are moments when the students don't like it. And there are too many moments. And once they make an impression about you and the seniors have told them the impression about you, they don't change it so easily. Our whole culture is judging all the time. In that movie, English, Sridevi says family is never judgmental. The last dialogue, I love that. I'll show you the clipping once. Put a movie clipping, man. In your lecture, I am going to put movie clippings. I'm going to put everything that will interest you. Are you now sleeping in my lecture? Talk, any one of you? No. And if a little bit you are close the video or a child, sometimes some people, I don't know, if nobody has a baby. Otherwise, some people have 4-year-old, 5-year-old. I allowed them to keep the video closed. Maybe they missed 10 minutes, but I encourage them to join the this particular course so that they can upgrade themselves. You know, at the end of the day, your pay package alone is not going to give you satisfaction. Your upgradation, your contribution to your work, and your contribution to the institution makes you feel good. Don't allow other people to come and give a pat on the back. They will give. But first you give. You should just exuberate confidence with humility, not with the kind of arrogance, but with humility. And students like to be with teachers, and teachers like to be with students. But the students like to be with teachers who can add to them growth, not only knowledge, but to their growth. There were teachers who have allowed us to go to a matinee show after prosthetic class, and we used to come late. That was that day. Now it is not possible. There are people who tell me the frustrated lot or the teacher. Sorry to use this word. Don't take it personally. Can I add? And they said, why? They said, madam, they are so frustrated. They take out all the frustration on us by telling us, insulting us. Your apron is like this. You are sat, not sat like this. Get out of the class and stand. This model is not good. Because I analyzed why this must be happening. Probably there are personal factors. Probably there are factors of economics. See, a IIT student passed and cleared gets a job of 30 lakhs a year very easily. Most of them, most of them. And now it must be more. Okay, I'm talking this of 6 years back. Okay, so still they don't take, they go abroad. Whereas our teacher gets something like 30,000, it is not correct. But we only as a principal tell the management, chalta itne mein aur bhi tumko mil jayegi. So think widely, broadly, beyond yourself. And the too much surplus has caused all these things. So leave aside the challenges at home, because one teacher told me, my husband says she is very good, and her almost the presentation of education was accepted to present in the at Glasgow, and she was only told to present online because they didn't come in that higher category. But that intelligent she is. She told me, my husband says, madam, you could have done some other course, and you are still getting this much pay only. XYZ. I didn't ask her how much pay. I was shocked to know that the lecturers are paid 30, 40, and the associate professors are paid 60, 70. This brings a frustration. But then don't allow this environmental situation. The 10 of you, I'm telling you, don't allow that to go in your mind. May not be all colleges. In the government colleges, we retire with a package of not only 2.5 lakhs last pay, but we also get 1 lakh pension. So what happens is we feel, okay, chalo acha hai, hamara kuch to institution ne kiya. Okay, we are there. From 9 to 5, I have not moved from my institution. And for so many years. And as a director, I could not move till 7 and 8 p.m. Probably some of you are working also hard. So what I'm today, why am I speaking all this? Understand yourself, understand self. What are the areas that are affecting me? 1, 2, 3, personally. 1, 2, 3, professionally. Does it overwhelm me? If it is overwhelming, it's bad. Situation cannot be bigger than Suha. Suha has to control the situation. As a teacher, it is required. Teaching is like motherhood, thankless job. But the internal satisfaction what you get is immense. But if you get into the rut of going to the college, getting into the book, because the other peers are not doing any courses, they are not upgrading, they are not doing anything, and only earning money in the afternoon or evening, and that too there is a challenge in the practice also, then you will feel, keep on building up the steam inside. The students want to learn. That is the mantra. And see that you go on that. Even the worst of students, and students many a time, one teacher told me, madam, मेरे को रोने को आया, वो मुझे good morning में नहीं बोला. But I'll tell you one thing. तेरे को good morning नहीं बोला, probably they need to be taught acknowledging. There is a culture of acknowledging. If I meet you down the line, I say, hi, Maybe I'm very busy. Hello teacher. उसको इतना रोने को आया, लेकिन आपको समझना है कि his mind is not under your control. You are still important person that you are. That is one thing. Secondly, let not the pay packages bother you because you are a teacher. Probably it's only a small amount, but you are earning much more outside. Otherwise, change the field. I told this girl, go into education, do your MHP, Masters in Health Profession Education, go to the university level. Or maybe change your job. Everybody cannot get a government job, and it's not possible for everybody to apply for a government job. It's transferable. Very few colleges like ours had only Mumbai, because only one municipal college. But government college transferable. Believe me, college is a learning ground for you. You're always young. Maybe your husband is getting a big pay package, but he's not learning every day. He's got all the things to give, that what he has done, how updating and meetings and other things and all. So if it is not from this, if he's not from the same profession, but at the same time, you need to choose and guide your life yourself. Students, change your tone of talking, they will respect you. One, students don't care how much a teacher knows, they care how much the teacher cares for them. By the time we learn all these things, know by experience, we have already in the middle age, and another few years you retire. That's the whole thing. I thought that best way is to share what you know and share from you, learn from you. We all want to be youngsters' company. I like to be with my children. They do trekking. I may not do trekking, but they do diving, level 2 diving. So I also wore a diving suit, took a photograph, removed it. Doesn't matter, but I did it. और ट्रैकिंग करते हैं तो मैं थोड़ा उनका इतना नहीं तो थोड़ा सा कर लेती है. 5 kilometers they climbed. I finished the 5 kilometers. But if they have done the whole parikrama of Mansarovar, I did it, most of it, half of it in the whatever the pony or whatever it is. But it's okay. But we all, students and teachers, remember, a good student motivates us. And a good teacher motivates the student. It's a mutual. They say, भक्त के बिना भगवान अधूरा है. स्टूडेंट्स के बिना टीचर अधूरा है, और भगवान के बिना हम अधूरे हैं. इफ एट ऑल वी आर बिलीविंग इन गॉड. If you are not, then it's up to you. When you're neutral, then something else. It's my own power inside, but I see it in the God. That's all. Certain things now, you build up your confidence from inside. You feel and actually feel your importance inside. No one needs to tell me every day that I'm looking good. There are so many times I have argued with my husband. I wore this beautiful sari and you're not even looked at me. मैं कैसे लग रही हूँ पता भी नहीं है. Now I can see the mirror. 100 years you will live. I look at the mirror and say, I am looking nice. The sari is very beautiful. But it takes time. By the time, you have lost a lot of ground. I don't want you to do that. I want you to enjoy today. You're young. Please enjoy today. I am also young. So it's like that. Okay. So please don't think that the students, I'll send you that article if I can fish it out. They say most the teachers say today students don't want to learn. It's not true. They want to learn, but they are not talking to them in that language, how they want to learn. Everybody cannot do that, but you can try to do these things using technology. Somebody said Kahoot. I wouldn't even go for Kahoot all the time, puzzles and quiz. I would just use some of these simple apps like the Answer Garden and some Google slides I will use, and Jamboard is mine. I'll show you. Jamboard I will show you, because if I can use, you can all use. Of course, I learned a lot of apps. I'm not saying no, but I will use one of these in the Google Slides, not PPT as I'm using it. Convert it into the Google Slides. I can use everything on the Google. Have you seen that small 9 dots which are coming on the right? उसमें Jamboard है पे. वो use करके देखो. उसमें whiteboard है, उसमें word cloud है, puzzle, सब कुछ है उसमें. Jamboard is a great app. Only use Jamboard, nothing else. Because every day there are new apps. Will you keep on purchasing? I prefer Google, it's all free. Kahoot, he said there are only few students you can use. Your class is 100. They like to use. And always ask them, see, the WHO days are many. Do you want to restrict yourself to thinking that you are a dental surgeon or, as they say, dentist, datka doctor? No. It's a part of the body, and I want to think about much higher way. I must know that World Geriatric Day was yesterday, first. Yesterday was second, then day before yesterday. And there is also, so many days like World AIDS Day, we know, because 1st December it became very popular. World Health Day, we know, 7th April. But if you Google the World Health WHO days, there are so many. Which is the day for anti-smoking and oral cancer?
In July,
Huh?
June 1st or July 1st?
31st of May. You please Google that. And on that
That's
day,
right.
you as a teacher celebrate it. You will be doing a great service to the students because you are creating in the young minds the importance of not smoking. And also advising their patients. Today, the greatest tragedy is we dental surgeons in all the colleges were never taught to give an intramuscular injection and all on their own. We started that later in the college. So we must be able to do all these things. Some of the medical colleges where you work, like ours, like AIMS and other college, you can do anything and everything. And also the suturing. Innovative way will be just to take a sponge and put a Macintosh and make them take different types of sutures. The MDS students, especially in prostho. So there are lots of innovative things the teacher can do without spending money. They say that Indians do not require any simulators and phantoms because our patients we are using like that. But before that, we have a tomato to pierce. People use that as all these cheap ways of doing simulation. So there are lots of things that in the prostho you can do which make the students interesting. Case-based learning is one of the methods you can use. And even the postgraduate students, I know they want a degree. I know because they're already, some 23, 24, some of them are 26. When will they start to fend for themselves? The students want to learn. Believe me, trust me. There are some students who will be arrogant, who will answer you back. Believe me, they are not the regular students. They have some frustration built up. So you can talk to them. That is why mentoring is important. Mentoring is not for those students who are weak. Mentoring is to see myself, what is my next level I can go? How can I progress? Which areas I can do? We will take a session for you on mentoring also. Because mentoring also, see, now I can talk about mentoring, or I can ask you to recall and take mentoring in 5 steps of only breakout rooms. We are going to do that only. Okay, so please try different methods with the students. Talk to them in a different language. Don't bother if they don't say anything, wish you, or maybe they are blaming you. The college management will say pass everybody, and you can't do that. So you have to keep your moral ethics away. And what madam is talking is something in a different world. She's talking, sitting in a ivory tower. Aisa nahi hai. In that given situation, what can I do the best? In that given situation, what is the positive? There is a session I will take for you on appreciative inquiry. That will be appreciating what is good in the college and what made it good and how you can grow it. Okay. So just a few minutes I wanted to discuss with you on projects. Gaurang is also there. He can give you an input on projects. The group 1, can you just contribute your topic? What did you think of the theory and background and other things? Yeah. See, last time whatever we took, if one of you revise, then Jyoti will be benefited. Can you do it? Gopal Krishnan. Can you say what madam talked about the 2 topics last year for Jyoti? Jyoti, listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm listening.
Yeah. How is it?
Ma'am talked about outcome chains.
What is outcome chain? Ask her, Jyoti.
What is outcome chain?
It's basically giving a concept map. Like,
No, I will interrupt. Basically, in education, educational research, you are thinking what change you want to bring. That's the outcome. वो outcome को पहुंचने के लिए क्या steps है? The concept map, he said. Now this chain 1, 2, 3, 5. I want to start early clinical education in my my concept is to start. To start, I have to educate the faculty, and not only educate the faculty, I should give them all the resources available.
So outcome chain is something where you want to, it's a steps which required for theory of change.
Yeah. Add one more point. Arun, you add. Arun, Anand Kumar, Siddharth, Rohit.
Yes, madam. Some short-term achievements, mid-term achievements are outcomes, and long-term outcomes.
It's a short-term
Short-term.
outcomes,
Yes.
intermediate outcomes,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
long-term outcomes.
Yes.
Long-term can be seen as late, even after 5 years. And everywhere, please don't write that the patient care is better. You can't measure that every time. I will write the outcome and outcome what is, measurable. Gaurang, you want to add here?
We have to also, ma'am, a concept map for that project so that the outcome chains can be interrelated.
Yeah, correct.
So basically, theory of change is what you require to change in education system, or what is exactly, ma'am?
Yeah, theory of change is what you want to change and how you will change and what will be the effect of it is that outcome chain. What is that? So the theory of change is how, why, what. How will you bring this change? Why should you bring this change? And what should be changed?
And I feel it's a little bit difficult topic, and we as a
I will discuss with you today and make it very simple.
Because after actually I read the theory of change, I made some project like thing, but I felt most of that is like it's very difficult from our hand to do. It requires lots of efforts and definitely more other things. I feel.
It's a teamwork. No educational research can be done by individual. It has to be in the department. Focus group discussion, outputs from other people, inputs from other people, and back and forth you have to go. You have to give a Google form to take the opinions of others. Focus group discussion has to be recorded and listened. And what is the change that people have proposed? These are all important things. This will one day you will sit maybe as a vice chancellor in a university. These are all the things are important to do. As a dean. मीनाक्षी बोलो, कुछ बोलती नहीं है.
I was about to, a little more inputs. What madam has told in the last class was the outcome chain. That is a concept mapping where we decide the short term, the intermediate, and long term outcome of any project should be measurable. So at every point of time, it needs to be measured and it should be achieved. If it is achievable, then only you go for intermediate outcome and long term outcome.
Measurable.
Measurable.
So if you are not measured, it will be no research. Research is measurable. And this educational research, many a times it is qualitative research or is a quantitative or a mixed method. Qualitative research is difficult and very expensive. So what we do is we take only 1 or 2 parts which is qualitative. We will be talking about qualitative research. Quantitative research you are doing, but we will again talk about that. So what is outcome? Where you want to go? Where you want to go? Which is your topic? Supposing, give a random topic to me. Random topic. It is supposing you want to start a department of geriatric dentistry in the college. Why do you want to start? What will be the benefits and how will you start? This involves how many departments? All departments. This involves administration, stakeholders. This involves the student. This involves so many. So it's a very, very difficult project, but not that you cannot achieve it. You understand? Some things not achievable, but some things can be achieved. So now I need to first of all take permission of my head of the department, talk to them, but not talk. Madam, we should start geriatric dentistry, complete different unit. No. Should we start? It's a question. So she will think or he will think that you are taking your opinion. The principal can be talked in a group, or maybe the HOD can talk that starting this will give us the college a good, face. Maybe we can put it in the NAC. We can have some geriatric research. There is a government funding for this. Government has a huge funding for geriatrics, but maybe given, maybe not be given. All those things are secondary, but they do have funding for geriatric, and Ayush has funding for all this. So it is just not only teeth replacement. It is saving the teeth, stomatognatic system preservation. It's also any caries, attacking the and attending to the caries, seeing that periodontal health is good, seeing the well-being, maybe good nutrition, because the patient cannot even wear a prosthesis, B12 deficiency. So nutritionist comes, he's unable to coherently speak, or maybe he's able just forgetting. So there is medical side and dental side. Perio, then there is not oral medicine department. Without fighting, if we can have a HOD meeting and think that all your contribution is important. So the outcome, how I am talking to you. Then I send a Google form. Is it necessary to start? Maybe finding out the necessity. Okay. Finding out what the finances, who all the stakeholders involved in the main this thing, all department one representation can be there. Where will the geriatric clinic held? Patient cannot be asked, आप इधर जाके filling करके आओ फिर इधर आओ. So I will make 4 chairs maybe on Wednesdays and Fridays that the patients can be seen in OPD and their treatment can be done. Who all? Maybe different PGs, maybe different teachers. What all treatment? Where is the funding coming from? Is it? So these are the thought. This is only a very big example. Now, what do I measure in this? How do I measure? Patient satisfaction is one. Student learning is second. But what are things I want to learn? And I cannot say that after a few years or 5 or 10 years, this institution will be known for as a geriatric treatment institution. I cannot say, because that is not measurable. That is measurable, but that's a huge work. It requires every year incremental improvements what I have done. So that is important. How will you get there is the concept map. And what evidence will you have that you have reached your outcome? That is one. So project planning is very, very important. So there is an outcome chain. That is the concept map what we are making. Each of the outcome where I want to reach, everywhere there can be out. See, as she said, there will not be only one outcome, there will be many outcomes. I'll tell you again the whole thing that she talked to you. Educational project, it is called. Because this project is done in your institution, it is applied. It's applied as a pilot and you will take it bigger. And with a mind that you will have measurements, measurable, and you will publish it. And there will be a change in the institution. And there is going to be a change. So now, small thing, can you, one of you give me an example of a project that you want to change? Maybe something that you want to bring in your institution. I gave you a very big example. Give me a small one. Speak up.
Want to bring up elective courses for the first year and
Excellent. Take that as a project. It will be great. So why question is you have to do some background. What are the electives that other colleges have? Maybe here, maybe abroad. What are feasible? Do you have faculty for that? What are the expenses? Will the students be interested? And how and when? When will you apply that? All these things, questions will come. Then you give a Google form to the students. Which areas they're interested? When will they like to work? Only in the vacation? Maybe they like to work outside the college. Maybe they like to work in the college. Maybe they'll work only as a library work. Music can be an elective. Dance can be second elective. It can be maybe upgrading yourself in the digital courses, or maybe it can be in old age homes to serve the elderly. Then when I talk to them, I will give them a reality or narrative. Do you have grandparents? What is it to be with them? What have they helped you or you have helped them? So from there, the dialogue starts. So I want to bring an elective. Can I bring it alone? No. I have to bring it with 4 or 5 other faculty like-minded who can discuss. They will give me some ideas. I can go to the dean. I can go to the maybe academic dean. I can ask them what all can be done. Always make them give their opinion first. So this is a broad way I am planning still. But when the project comes, I want to have the outcome. Electives are started in the college. For that, I have to plan which electives, faculty for the electives. Students are given options and they are just put it. Maybe some students can take it in, especially in, MRI images reading, or maybe on the CT. But nowadays it's very important. So they can take on the subject related and extracurricular. I gave you a wild example of singing. Singing and dancing is not out of our realm. It is very much within our realm. It is an art form that helps you to focus. And also it's an art form that gives you satisfaction. So it can be anything, but there are not many takers for singing. Maybe you can have on something to do with how to prepare a PowerPoint. Maybe listening to music that gives them happiness. Maybe improving your English or any language. Extra importance, I don't want to give it to English. It's just a language and we are still comfortable with it. Most of the world speaks that. That is the thing. And so now I start thinking with my group whom I have made. You are the leader, but other people's inputs are important. So, Anand, you must take the inputs from your colleagues as to why this, maybe there are many in the Google questionnaire when you prepare, you have to validate it. Even if you're using an external questionnaire with the permission of the author, it is not suitable in Belgavi for him. So he will put some questions. Maybe sports can be an elective. Maybe playing something can be an elective. Writing a letter can be. Most students don't know how to write a letter. I'm working in your department. It sends such a negative message. I am working in prosthetic department. And I request you to give me some leave. for 2 days or whatever. Thanking you, yours, and thanking you in anticipation, yours sincerely. They don't know how to write a letter. They don't know subject. This, you will be doing a great help to them if the format of letter is given. So
Okay.
maybe communication skills.
Yes.
Communication is just not letters. Communication is body language.
Body languages.
It can be communication sign language. It can be communication without speaking. Communication can be many folds like letters, emails. And what is the best way of communicating? It can be anything. But the communication has to be not only with your WhatsApp or whatever. It could also be many ways. I'm not giving you many things because I want you to think about communication. That's a very strong objective. But everybody cannot take communication skills.
Correct.
Culture of India, maybe the dental history, history of dentistry can be an elective. So we need to find out, and next year again do a survey as to how many students opted for this A, B, C, D. Why the students opted most for A? Then I will have more faculty. Where will I get the faculty from? Students are not going to pay extra for that. The college also is not ready. So how many teachers are ready, or how many classes can be taken help from maybe an engineering college, or maybe from teacher as a resource person, then using even our own YouTubes and other things where is good communication, I can show them the YouTube videos. And seniors teaching the juniors, this is important, but not telling them about no. That Arun is not a good person. He shouts at people. He saw only shouting of Arun. He didn't see the good heart of Arun. We have to see the whole person, no? This is not taught in our culture at all. Our culture is taught to be self-centered. Think about me, not think from other people's perspective. This is from my childhood. I have been taught that. So suddenly I cannot change. So electives can be so many. Happiness, being happy and well-being is a great elective. Well-being and happiness is a great elective. Well-being and happiness of India comes 139th or something. I don't remember now, some few years back. And other countries like Bhutan also हमारे से बहुत आगे आया. छोटू सा country. In your college, if you take a well-being and happiness of teachers,
happiness indexes,
we all will write, okay, we are happy. Reality fact, you also know. And also, many people will talk, a college में कुछ होता ही नहीं है, nothing happens here, everything is what the principal says. Have you tried to have a dialogue with the principal? Has the principal tried to have a dialogue with you? It's difficult, I understand. As I told you, by the time we learn everything, know the whole aspect of 360 degrees, you have to say bye to the college. Then you think, can I just sit down and take it away, everything with me, what I learned? There is a book called Die Empty. Please read that. They say whatever.
What's the book name? Yeah?
Die Empty. DIEMT. Online मिल जाएगा आप. अभी कुछ book लेने की जरूरत नहीं.
Yeah.
I'll send the PDF to you otherwise, if you don't get it. Because I think I have in my computer. There are lots of books, that will give. Have you read 1 Minute Manager?
Yeah, I think I read.
So, or maybe, there's many books, but you are not able to read everything, but at least the gist of it, it's good to read a book.
Yeah.
And there are so many things that electives can have. You have to plan. So outcome change, uska outcomes kya mangta hai? The outcomes are going on, the electives are going on well. The students are able to apply it in practice also. The maybe some other elective like communication skills have improved the students in this, or maybe how will I measure it? So we keep on forming the outcome chain. Okay, first is the theory, why I should do it. what I should do, and how comes the outcome change, and the concept map. Okay?
Thank you, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, madam.
And the last is your result, evidence that you have achieved the change. So your educational project, as she takes, no, I will keep on updating you what is making it simple and simple for you.
Yes, sir.
Does this help you today that I've spoken?
Yes, some topics. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I've
So
given
now
insight to some
let's
topics.
have a discussion on the WhatsApp on theory and background and outcome chain, maybe concept map you want to talk. So what is it? We have to have an example. That's why we asked you to do a project. If you don't have an example, you cannot do the outcome chain concept map. And usme bhi educational project keeps on changing because the result is already known. This is what I want to achieve. Clinical research doesn't know. You're testing something, maybe the tensile strength, but you don't know what is the tensile. Here I know the tensile strength of a communication skill will be the students will be able to communicate better with the peers, with themselves, with the patients, and there will be less fighting in the department. Maybe they're able to communicate with teacher and have a better relationship. So I know, but how to reach there, I don't know. So educational project अलग है. हमको पता है कहाँ जाना है, कैसा जाना है, आप कर रहे हो, इतना ही है. आपको हिंदी मालूम पड़ता है ना? हिंदी में प्रॉब्लम है?
No problem. No problem.
No problem, ma'am.
Yeah. So that is the thing. And see, student can easily by heart only know only for a short term memory and forget it for lifetime.
Correct.
Even the irreversible hydrocolloid composition he doesn't know. So he doesn't know the initial setting and final setting time. He doesn't know so many things because he has got 80% marks. But short-term memory. Our duty is to put it in the long-term memory. Our duty is also to make it interesting. Anything I see and I do, they like. Student asks, हम तो गए थे कॉलेज में डॉक्टर बनने को, हमको प्लास्टर मिक्स करने को लगाया मैडम. You never gave them the reasoning why they should mix. You never gave them. So can we start this to get the students interested? You are different than others. This is not a theory course of MHPE which gives you a degree and you don't apply anything. I know a lot of MHPs don't apply anything. Lot of university 3-day course attended only to get a certificate. But our course is completely practical. So aren't you feeling happy about it?
Yes.
तो थोड़ा happiness बताओ, बात करो, बोलो.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So I want you to now contribute about yourself.
Yes.
What are you doing and what do you want to do? See, this dialogue is important for that I know you more, you know me better.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't keep that distance between us. I am not something different than you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about yourself. We had talked about that day about your role, goal, hobbies. For you, it was just a momentary, you just told me. But today, rethink. Anand, start. Not only role, goal, anything that you want to achieve. What is your future plan? What is your that you want to achieve personally? Personally, you want to travel, or maybe you want to cycle from Manali to Ladakh. That can be on your goal.
Yes. Madam, I want to visit multiple places, madam, especially abroad places. I want to visit many foreign countries. So that is every year I plan to visit one foreign country, madam. That is in my wish list.
For what?
Just to see the place and
like what's in the bucket list first?
travel, madam. Travel.
Travel can be done anywhere. So I'm asking you, which place is in your bucket list?
Okay, madam. Bucket list. Nothing special, madam. I think Lakshadweep is in my next. Lakshadweep and Sri Lanka is in my next bucket list, madam.
Okay. Okay. Jyoti?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I want to do some change actually, which can be benefited to throughout the world. Like recently, they invented COVID vaccine, and as you told, in educational research, I want to bring up a great change involving not only the dental; it has to include both medical and health. In general, it is health, which involves medical, dental, Ayurvedic, Siddha, alternative medicine, blah, 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 blah. So there is a list of those things.
So
And basically, I
that's a
don't
big
have a
goal.
concept
That's
with
a big goal. So now make a concept map. How will you reach there?
No, ma'am, actually, I had that. And in fact, I started clinic also, keeping that in mind. And in fact, not only the health, I just want to bring out some entire change in the education system, starting from first standard, LKG, UKG, whatever it is there. It's
In which aspect? In which aspect?
throughout. Actually, I feel the education system has brought to India through British rule.
Yes.
So you
We
have
had
the
75 years to change that.
I know it is not possible.
It is possible. That is what we 10 are doing now.
No, ma'am. Actually, it's very
It is
difficult. I
possible.
had an idea
As
actually.
we go ahead, you will know that you are going to be a change agent. You are going
So
to be a
not
very
only,
strong.
actually, I heard recently like the central government is planning to combine medical and Ayurvedic, and
They are
starting
combined.
for 6 or 7 years, something like that.
Huh.
So they're combining medical and Ayurvedic. Modi sir and all that. That's in the central government they're planning, I heard. So my idea was more different than them actually. So I just want to combine the other health, something like Indian system. I just want to get it throughout the world. It has to be followed by throughout the world, not only in India. So some knowledge in
They
Indian
say
system.
think local. Think local.
Yes, ma'am.
You can think global and act local, or you can
Yes.
think local, and if you try to act global, it's not possible. You can make only a ripple around you. अब स्टोन फेंकेगा पानी में तो उसका रिपल होता है, वो रिपल फिर वाइड होता है, इतना बड़ा होता है, तो वो आपको करना है. It's a very very good thinking, and but you need to pen down. This is what the DIMT book says, that you note down your ideas first. The ideas will die otherwise.
Yes.
And
I know it as we have already have 100, maximum is 80 years, ma'am. Our living thing.
जिसको कुछ को करना है ना, only 5 years, 2 years are enough.
No, ma'am, I feel it's little bit difficult, whatever the ideas I have.
Making a great change when the NDC comes, because you are the person who is going to apply now learning differently and assessment, even challenging and critical thinking. You're going to do that when we show you. If you want to decode NDC, we can decode for the faculty and institutions how to do what to do. I am doing that already, because why I want to do that is the small changes through 10 of you will make a change in 10 colleges. Maybe so far so many people who have done the course, they will also make. So little changes what we make will contribute.
Our education should be followed by other countries, ma'am.
Yeah.
Indian
See,
education.
you know what she said is right. The British did not want us to think and be critical thinkers. So they brought a curriculum called as clerical curriculum. They wanted the doctors to just go treat and come back. They never encouraged research. But that we knew, isn't it? So we should have changed it long time back. But we'll talk about the history of education some other time. I think I'll invite Dr. Supe to talk about it. He talks brilliantly about the story. Even Dr. Chari, I'll get them on the board to talk about the history of media. How the 100 colleges got together and made a change in USA. Why can't we 100 get together, 10 get together and make the changes. We can. Anything is possible. Your idea is welcome, but the idea needs to be applicable. Application will come only when the idea is said. You have said it just now. Maybe more people, maybe the like-minded like you, Meenakshi and other people and all. Meenakshi is also, उसको भी नया नया करने का कीड़ा होता है. तो ऐसा कुछ करेंगे तुम लोग सब मिलके तो हो सकता है. Okay, Meenakshi?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, wanted to add a little more to Dr. Jyoti's interest because she wants to bring in the change of intercollaborative between two other departments, which is quite not possible if there is no the concept of research, which has to be inculcated in the student level itself. If students get that concept of research and how to do scientific writing and publishing, probably that will add more data and we can get along with two other departments and do some collaborative research. So if as she was talking about palliative care and all the other things, so it's rooted deep through research only. So I am basically interested in research and to develop and inculcate the concept of research among undergraduate students. So if that concept builds in, probably we will get more data and such kind of interactions would be more beneficial so that we have scientific proof that this is required. If there is enough scientific proof that there should be interprofessional collaboration so that it gives a cumulative act to enrich the health of a general public, then that would be the best. So my area of interest is research, ma'am.
Yeah. You heard of Nalanda University, ma'am? Like it was.
I have gone. I have gone twice over there.
Good, ma'am.
Great, it is a great place, no? It is very close to Myrna. Myrna.
Yes. It's in Bihar, I think, no? So,
Bihar, yeah. Not very
so
far.
That was a best example where they used to come from out of India to learn the things. So I think it will be beneficial.
Yesterday I was reading that the exodus in Kashmir of the Kashmiri Pandits took place 7th time in 1990. I never knew this till I read this.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So I read the whole history. They were so intelligent. The Kashyap Muni, he was called
Abhinav Gupta also, ma'am. Abhinav Gupta,
yeah.
You heard after, so I think
many of the invaders, they thought of changing it. So they made them, beat them, took them out and all. But their mind never allowed it because they were so deeply involved and they were very much, prone to that particular Vedic culture and other things. Yes. And they were great innovators. So they started converting so that the mindset can change. But even then, I don't know how many, but out of jaan pyari hoti hai, jaan hai to jahan hai. So many of them did. But it's a very sad thing. We talk about Jews. Nobody talks about that exodus and genocide. So a lot of things in India is already there. Who invented zero? Have you all gone to that Swaminarayan temple at Delhi? It was eye-opener for me. Even the iron not rusting the first time it was done in India. The innovation gallery is great. Lots of things. They patent it, but we have done it. But so we can do small changes. You can't change the whole world, but you can change. Which college?
Yeah, some small changes we can.
Which college?
Yes, ma'am.
Which college?
Right now, actually, I have applied for BGs in Bangalore, ma'am. They're going to start by another 3-4 months.
Think about a change there. I'm quite sure of it.
Yeah, I think that's a good opportunity also for me because they're starting right now college. So, touch gold. I will have a good opportunity.
Myrna is going to be change agent in her college. Meenakshi is going to be change agent in her college. So you're the catalyst of change. Isn't it? Arun Kumar, आप क्या करोगे? Or what is your concept? What's in your thought?
My concern is teaching or learning should be more enjoyable.
Yes.
And
teaching should be a hobby.
Hobby, ma'am, and whatever the treatment is reachable, like it should reach the maximum people. So that can be possible by educating not only students, even educating our patients. Because we all study to become doctors, but our patients are not studying to become patients. So we need to teach not only our students, our patients, and the treatment is reachable, and teaching should be enjoyable. So if teaching and learning are enjoyable, and the things becomes easy.
Yeah. So Sandhya? Sandhya, can you?
Yeah, ma'am. What I feel that whatever we teach, the students will understand something. But apart from that, an environment, a student-friendly environment is definitely required for their uptake of knowledge. So I want to understand what are the different environmental factors apart from the teacher. What are the other environmental factors which can enable the kids to learn better? So that is what I want to understand more.
Yeah, I'll give you a simple example. You talked of environment. Environmental safety is one aspect. But I'll talk to you of IIT. All the top students go there. Top means, I will not say exactly. In that exam, JEE, they have cracked.
Yes.
Well, so when my son used to study in IIT, he used to tell me that not all teachers are good. But because of my peers, I am that cutting edge. मुझे करना है, that comes no. रात को in the first year, they used to have a software lab where they can practice and do anything. So environment of that facility was given. Teachers gave them, most of them gave them open this thing. Many of them could teach. Many of them could not be a good communicator.
Yes.
Many of them encouraged them. You know why so many religious fata came, so many divisions? Because what is said in Gita was interpreted by each one of us differently.
Yes.
So if I'm powerful, I said, no, this is not religion, this is religion. So I said, I'm this sect. The sectarian religion came, sectarian science can't come, no? Science is nothing but truth. That's a very good idea. You can take a research project in that environment, academic environment in your own institution. How will you apply it to the other institutions?
Yes, ma'am.
Siddharth? सिद्धार्थ
Yes, madam.
बोलता है
Like, madam, what topic I should take as my research project, madam?
No. Just what are you interested? Maybe something urgent that you want to. You are interested to take a promotion immediately, or maybe you want to become dean of the college one of the days. Headache, dean is. Yeah, but
No,
whatever.
no,
I think we
not.
lost him.
No, madam, I'm there, madam. Not of anything of that sort, madam. Right now, my focus will be is to bring some change in the exact BDS curriculum, madam.
But now, very good. So now, don't blame the DCI. Small
No,
changes
madam.
can be done by the colleges.
Exactly. Like, let's say, madam, the preclinical exercises. Since we studied since like our teachers have been studying same old teeth arrangement and all, what new we can put so that they don't find the necessity of joining these lucrative courses, learn dentistry in 3 months, 6 months. So how we can close that gap between the student learning, like what all changes in the curriculum we can do at least in prosthodontics, so that
Think
at least
about
they
it. Think about it and take it as a project
okay.
if you are interested. So
Yeah, madam.
it's 8 o'clock. We call it a day. Thank you so much. So yeah. So think about I will send you the articles
Yeah,
on the
madam.
WhatsApp only. Read the article. Do the two things what I told you. The interaction in the college. Okay. Think about what Ashwini has talked and what we have talked. Again, we'll recall tomorrow or next time. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank
Good
you so
night.
much.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all and good night.
Thank you.